This is April.
And this is Tiffany. And you are now listening to the Tea of Life podcast. On today's podcast, I'm going to be talking about dream crushers and those who like to squash your dream. Or maybe don't even like to, but kind of do it without knowing it. And so I'm going to be talking about that. So I thought that today would also be a great day for me to tell you guys about something that my husband and I purchased a few years back. It was a mattress by Sleep Innovations, and we got it from Amazon. And I'll put the link to that in our show notes on our website and also in iTunes. But I wanted to tell you guys about this because we love this mattress. And we've actually told some other friends about it, and they've ended up purchasing it as well. They absolutely love it. They would come over to our house, we'd tell them about our mattress. They would lay down on our bed and think, oh my goodness, I love this mattress. So my husband and I were originally looking to get a similar mattress, one of the more expensive mattresses that was going to cost us probably around $2,500 to $3,000 for a mattress. We ended up finding this particular one that is made the same way. And when you go on the website, you'll actually be able to see what I'm talking about. It's a memory foam mattress. So the other company the famous company who makes the memory foam mattresses, this is very similar to that. We ended up purchasing this mattress from Amazon. It arrived Amazon Prime free shipping. And on our front porch, we brought it into our home, cut it open, took it out of the box, and it just kind of flopped open on our bed. And we love this mattress. I was actually having some difficulty with some neck and shoulder pain, and I was seeing the chiropractor about it. And once I got this mattress, it completely went away. And I did not realize that the mattress that we had was probably even causing this neck and shoulder pain. So we got this memory foam mattress and love it. So I'm going to put a link to that in our show notes, and you guys go there, check it out. It comes in twin, full, queen, king, and California king sizes. The price is very low compared to the more famous memory foam mattresses that you can buy on the market. We paid around $600 or so for this particular mattress. So go to Amazon, check out this mattress, see what you guys think about it. So I'm running solo today, and whenever I do a solo podcast, I like to open up my podcast with a question. So my question for you today is, have you ever had a dream or desire to do something and to have that dream squashed by the people around you? Well, today I'm going to reveal something that I don't think that I've ever talked about before, and that is this. Ba-da-ba-bum-bum. Drum roll. When I was a little girl, I did a little bit of modeling for a local department store in the small town that we lived in, and I remember loving it. So this actually led to my dreaming of becoming a model one day. And this is not something that I've really shared with a whole lot of people. I don't even know if my husband even knows about this. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not really sure. But this is what I wanted to do when I grew up. I loved being on the stage. I loved wearing the clothes. I loved getting to wear the clothes. I loved going to the room where all the clothes were hanging and figuring out which dress was mine. It was so much fun. And I just felt really pretty when I got to dress up and wear all the pretty dresses that were being sold in the store. So one of the best perks that I remember was that I got to take home the dresses that I wore. And I remember very vividly one of the dresses that I got to model. It was a knee-length dress. It was maroon and it had white lace. And I wore this dress every Sunday to church. Literally every Sunday. My mom would try to get me to wear something else and I would say, no way. And I wore this dress every Sunday. So after doing this a little bit, I remember telling someone when I was a little bit older that I really wanted to model clothing when I grew up. Now, I did not want to become a Victoria's Secret model or anything like that. I don't even know that I even knew what Victoria's Secret was at the time. I am definitely not built for that. But I remember that I wanted to model clothing. So when I told somebody that I actually wanted to be a model, I remember that moment well. I remember that person looked at me and said, "You will never become a model because you are too short." Those of you who know me know that I am 5'4" tall. Okay, fine. I'm actually 5'3¾ tall, but it's just easier to round up, right? So one time I went to the doctor for a checkup and the nurse measured my height and I said something to her about being 5'4". And the nurse looked at me and she said, "Honey, no, you're only 5'3¾ tall." As if her calling me honey was actually sweetening her words. I thought, really? Like, you seriously could not give me 1/4 of an inch? And I'm thinking, lady, don't you know how to round? My sister always tells me that I remember all the bad things, but I don't ever remember the good things. But anyway, I remember that moment when I told this person what I wanted to do, and I was shut down immediately. I remember going to my room and bawling my eyes out. And that was it. I never said that I wanted to model again. Well, until now. But I wonder what would have happened had I not listened to that one person who told me that I could not do it. It wasn't multiple people, it was just one. I wonder what would have happened had I pushed my way through, ignoring that person and said, "This is what I want to do. This is the dream that I have." I may have gotten into it and figured out that it really wasn't what I wanted to do after all, but that would have been my choice. And I'm sure that none of that experience would have gone in vain. God could have used every bit of that for something else. In Genesis 37, God gave Joseph a dream. He did not give his brothers the dream. He gave Joseph the dream. And I know that the main reason that Joseph's brothers rebelled is because Joseph told them that they were going to be bowing down to him. That was Joseph's dream, was that his brothers would be bowing down to him. There were other things in the dream as well, but that was, I think, the one part that actually sent his brothers over the edge because they said, "No way." However, my point is that Joseph told his brothers his dream, and his brothers squashed that dream because God had not given his brothers that same dream. His brothers didn't know what to do with that dream. And I wonder how that story would have gone differently had Joseph taken his dream to someone who actually understood it. Someone who could give him some advice because they had actually been there, done that kind of thing. I wonder if Joseph's journey to being second in charge would have actually taken a different route had he just told a more supportive person about his God-given dream. In Genesis 37:19, his brothers shouted out, "Here comes that dreamer! Let's kill him! And then we'll see what comes of his dreams." I'm wondering how many people out there have actually had their dreams squashed or killed by someone who has told them that they can't do it. How many of you have been told that your dream is impossible, stupid, completely unachievable? You could have been told this either by a parent or someone else who was close to you. It could have been a supermarket stranger that you struck up a conversation with while you were waiting for your turkey. How many times have we gone to the closest person to us to get advice on our dream and they suddenly shut it down? It's at that time that you have to remember that God has not given them that dream. They don't see that vision. They don't have a heart for it. They don't have that same desire and passion that you do, and they don't share that with you. God has not given them the dream that was given to you. If God has given you the dream for something, then you have to know that He's not going to abandon you. He's not going to leave you. He is going to help you see that dream through. And when He gives you that dream, it's like He's saying, "Hey, I have an idea. Let's do this together." He's not going to say, "Hey, I'm giving you a dream, and by the way, you're going to be doing this on your own. See ya." Here's your dream, dude. Bye, Felicia. Let me know how it works out for you. Heck no. He is going to be there every step of the way, and he is going to help you see that dream come to pass. So when God has given you a dream and you need to seek advice for it, if you need to go tell somebody who has already done or is already doing that same thing or something very similar. Someone who can understand, someone who can encourage you, someone who can advise you, someone who can push you along, hold you accountable. This is your dream. So this is a time of year where there are also a lot of graduates, high school graduates, college graduates of all ages, and you're right now trying to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Well, there's a chance that some of you have already had your dreams crushed, either by parents, professors, friends. Maybe some of you are feeling like you need to fulfill your parents' dream instead of your own dream. If you have a dream, you have to remember that chances are that God has not given your parent or professor or friend that same exact dream. God has possibly not given your sibling that same dream. So they are probably not going to understand, just like Joseph's brothers didn't understand. So it makes me really sad to think that there are people in this world who look back and think, I wish I would have. One of my biggest fears is regret. That is my absolute biggest fear. It's not FOMO fear, the fear of missing out. I'm okay with missing out on some things because, as you know, I have learned how to say no to some things to be able to say yes to others. That is okay. But it's more like a fear of not taking risk because I'm afraid. I'm not afraid that I'm going to regret doing something. I'm actually afraid that I'm going to regret not doing something. I know that if I don't do certain things, I am going to regret not doing them. I'm going to regret not spending time with my kids. I am going to regret not fulfilling the passions that I have in my heart. Those are my biggest fears. The regret of not doing something that I could have possibly loved, or not doing something that I feel like God is putting on my heart. So you know, if you've been listening for a while, that our biggest passion for our podcast is to encourage you to live the life that you love living. And one way that you can do that is to actually fulfill your life's dream. My kids and I were watching a movie, Jumanji, and it's not the original one with Robin Williams. It's the more recent one, you know, the one with Dwayne Johnson. And the school Principal Bentley, actually said something, and it ended up being referred to a couple times during the movie. He said, and you might want to write this down. Take out a pen and paper. If you're driving, obviously don't do that. Come back to the podcast later. Hit pause, whatever you need to do. But you need to write this down. Principal Bentley said, "This is what you should be thinking about. Who you are and who you want to be. You get one life and you decide how you're going to spend it." So if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's a really great movie. We loved it. It's actually one that I would watch again. I am not the kind of person who likes to watch movies over and over and over again. There are a few exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, this is one of those that I would enjoy watching again. So my encouragement today is to tell you that you get one life. You get to decide how you're going to spend it. You get to decide if you are going to spend it fulfilling your dreams or fulfilling other people's dreams. That is what you get to decide. And once you decide that you're going to fulfill your dream, then nothing should stand in your way. So I encourage you to seek out people who can encourage you and not discourage you. Seek out people who understand and not those who don't understand. So I really hope that this encourages you today. Leave a comment and let me know what your dream is and what steps you're going to take toward that dream. Don't forget to go to Amazon and check out the mattress that I was telling you about at the beginning of the podcast so that you can get good rest at night enhance your nightly dreaming and be able to better prepare yourself to fulfill your God-given dreams. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next Monday. If you like Tea of Life podcast and you've got 2 friends who want to create the life that they love to live, tell them about us. Find us on your favorite social media platform like Facebook or Instagram. Also, right now before you forget, go to Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts and search for Tea of Life podcast. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Thank you for listening to Tea of Life podcast. We'll see you next Monday.